So here's an interesting question. How do you get into QA without QA experience? Where do you get QA experience? What's going on, everyone? This is Alex USA Days, and today we're going to talk about how to get into quality assurance if you don't have any experience. Where to get that experience? This is actually one of the questions that a subscriber had, so we're going to go ahead and read that and then go into some responses that ChatGPT offered versus also additionally was my experience and what I recommend. Hi, Alex. Is there some jobs I can work for free, almost free, just to get some hands on experience? The problem is, as it seems to find a job with no at least 1 year of experience, is there any site or job where you can start manual QA work? So the thing is with quality assurance, you don't really graduate with a QA degree, right? You can go and get a computer science degree, or you can go through like QA certification or a boot camp, or kind of move from any other profession if you're already in tech, like from support or even tech sales, or it doesn't matter, but you can move into QA. But you don't really get an education in QA in traditional way. So if you want to become a developer, sure, go get a computer science course. If you want to become QA engineer, what do I do? How do I get an experience to get into the job? So we'll try to answer that. This is the advice that ChatGPT gave to that comment. All right. There are a few options you can explore to gain hands on experience in manual QA work. First, volunteer for nonprofit organizations or open source projects. Many nonprofit organizations or open source projects rely on volunteers to test their software products. By volunteer, you can gain valuable experience in manual QA work and build your resume. So I can confirm that even though it's probably more custom for a development volunteer work to help like local nonprofits to build websites and so on, but you can definitely participate as a QA engineer and test their product, test their web pages, whatever they're working on. You can for free volunteer and devote your time as a tester, report bugs, and kind of go through the whole process with them uh, or making their product better. So this is very sound advice. Participate in testing communities. There are several online communities where testers can collaborate and test each other's software products. You can participate in these communities and offer your services to gain experience. So this is somewhat strange. Not sure how testers giving their products to each other to test according to ChatGPT. But what is good in this advice that you should actually participate in local communities. If you're looking for a QA job, go on Meetup and start looking for your QA meetups locally. Go visit some places where the QA engineers actually meet. Often you will see managers going to those events looking for people that want to get into QA or just have some QA experience. So there is also some hiring that is possibly going to be happening there. So it should be like some local, and also don't just use Meetup. You can use other services, but then you just Google, right? Local QA events or anything like that on Facebook, any other social media, and also add yourself to some of the online communities for QA engineers. Three, offer your services to small business. Small businesses may not have the resources to hire full-time testers, but they may be open to hiring freelancer or part-time tester. You can offer your service to small business in your area and gain experience while earning some money. Yeah, this is kind of difficult, so I don't really see how that's going to happen. Maybe if you start calling around your like local businesses and local shops, looking at their web pages, saying, "Hey, do you want me to test for you like for free or as a part time?" And I can like find some issues on your web page, or maybe there's issues with payments that on your web page for your products. I think it's doable, but probably there are easier ways, right? Number four, look for entry jobs. While many jobs posting require 1 year of experience, there are some entry level jobs available. Look for job posting that specify entry level or junior career positions. Yeah, we will gonna look at some of those. Again, there exist, but there are really few of them. Number five, join freelance platforms. There are several freelance platforms such as Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr, where you can offer your service as manual QA while they pay not high. You gain experience and build your portfolio. In terms of job sites specifically to manual QA work, here are some options. And options here included, I will give you some options where you can actually join the web page and start working hands-on as a QA engineer. So in reality, there are just few ways, set ways how you can start gaining QA experience, right, without any experience at all. So first thing first, you can join a bootcamp and make sure that the bootcamp program does include hands-on experience, so you will have some work being done as a tester during the bootcamp, either at the end of the bootcamp after you're done or after you graduate the bootcamp. But then you will also work as a QA engineer for maybe a company that the bootcamp works or maybe some internal product, but you have to add some hands-on experience, right? So that can go into your resume saying, "Hey, I tested this and this during the bootcamp program or after bootcamp program." This is absolutely valid experience. You can mention it. You can work on it. Second, you want to maybe grab a project on Udemy. Could be a test project. I'm gonna live. One of my friend actually has like Python automation bootcamp. You can try and grab that and go. It's all hands-on example, so you can go and follow on and build your own testing platform using that Udemy course or any other course, where you can actually go to an interview and say, "Hey, this is the automation or this is the testing framework that I created following like one of the courses. Here it what it tests, here what it does. So I am familiar with doing this." It's absolutely okay to show what you've done, share with the hiring team, tell them, "Hey, this is automation I wrote based on this bootcamp or based on this Udemy," and it actually logs in, verifies user profile, and just go through it. Show them what it does. Absolutely valid thing to show. You don't write a year of experience for it, but this is something you can actually bring to an actual team and show during the interview process. Not to the recruiter, especially if it's like outside third party recruiter, but when you actually on the interview with the team. Believe me, most of the companies will appreciate it that you're sharing what you actually have done. That's going to be beneficial. And step three, it's actually joining some of the online freelance platforms. We're going to talk about those in a second. All right, so let's go into some of the junior positions that I looked up on LinkedIn. So there are some companies that hire for like really low pay, and those looks like they just hire students or maybe seasonal jobs, $18 an hour, $20 an hour. I would not necessarily go into that, or some maybe some like gaming industries that have only like people to test games. If you really want to, if you're really desperate, you can start and join it. But there's a lot of people trying to get into that, like gaming or those kind of QA jobs that are very entry level, and there's really no. Let's put it this way: you can do it. You can get into start like testing some games for. Development company for $18 an hour, and then goes after a year, move with that tester experience into more like other type of a different industry where you'll get paid more as a QA engineer on a mid level. That's possible, but some people will get stuck there for years, and you kind of get into the mindset. Okay, what am I doing? I'm testing games. How much I'm getting paid? Like 80, 18, $20 an hour, and it might not be the best way to get into the industry, right? So it's possible, but remember, there's a lot of competitions, and pay is really not that great comparing to other industries that require QA engineers. So there's some like that's like you can see there's like junior QA tester for Dice or what is it like quality assurance one for FedEx for what $18 an hour from the job description. I would normally just not go into those unless you're right out of college or you're doing college and you want to kind of start uh, learning early doing QA, and maybe like you want to get into the field and do some game testing or stuff like that. Sure, but if you spend some time during the boot camp, or you're actually moving from some other industry and you have some professional background and you have bills to pay, that might not be the way to go. All right, some descriptions that you have to know knowledge of some standards. So that's actually typical for some of the QA professions. A lot of the QA quality coming from understanding the actual guidelines, standards, what the industry is all about. So you can have very niche experience in uh, regulations for business or finances or medical field, and then you can really use that as a QA engineer in that specific fields. A lot of your skills uh, that you were doing somewhere else in the same industry on maybe different professional line can be really used for as a QA engineer in that same field. So if you know regulations, you can start with a pretty good pay start, not necessarily be as technical, but as you really know how the system works and what kind of validation you should be looking forward to in order to make sure that the product abides by the regulation, you can get into solid field and just stay there for years, work there as a QA professional. Then there's junior QA analyst. So here's the range for a junior position. So 85K, 125K. This is okay. So IRC section. So again, some regulations are here, and bachelor's degree preferred but not required. So there are a lot of jobs just like that. So this is, even though this talks about junior, I think this is, you can find similar positions, not just junior, just QA engineer. Doesn't have to have junior description. Any QA job, go ahead and apply. Try to get to the team to get interviewed with them. If they like you, you tell them what you've been doing, show them the projects, show them the boot camp. You should be good. If they like you, you're going to be a good fit. If you have social, so-called soft skills, they're going to hire you. Then there's another position here. So junior QA manual engineer, 54 applicants, and then experience with Wi-Fi. So again, this is niche industry, but you can get into the niche industry. So if you were doing something related to Wi-Fi before, or any other type of niche industry, not necessarily in QA, but you have experience in the field, you can try and join those QA positions. All right, so now where to get hands-on experience? Freelance QA jobs or partial QA jobs. There are a lot of services. One of them, usertesting.com. So you can join and become a tester. They'll send you bugs. You can test them, verify them, get paid. Not a lot, $10, $50 per bug, but you can have it as a part-time thing on your resume while you work your main job, and keep on building time working as a freelancer. And then you can show, hey, I've been doing this like for half a year now, for a year, whatever. Uh, and I want to move into testing full time. Okay. Aside from usertesting.com, we got testwork.com. I'm going to probably put them all in the description, the links. So check out the description. You'll have the links for those. Here's Become a Tester. So same concept. You test different products, you get different tasks. One of the most popular ones, a little bit harder to get, but I still think very beneficial if you want to start as a tester, is UTest. They have like a program that you go through that they show you how to test, how to follow through. I mean, it's kind of, they're gonna take your hand and kind of go through the process. So, but it gets you into understanding overall what testing is. Even though if you're not gonna get any jobs, you'll go through the training program. Now, if you pass after the training program, if you're going to pass their test to become QA engineer, they will start sending you jobs. So, based on what devices you have at home, what computers, whatever, what phones, they'll start giving you small projects. Some of them looking for bugs. Some of them are creating test cases, but it's also paying 10, 50, sometimes more dollars per issue that you report. I know people that were doing this like part time, but also full time, right? So they will do a lot of U test, just in general as a gig, and making anywhere starting from like $1,500 a month. So another place when you can start, you can register and start kind of building up your resume portfolio, right, for testing. Usercrowd.com, also you can become tester, and you can, this is more about like UX usability, but still you can test and leave feedback. Pays a lot less, but it's still hands-on experience, right? Testbirds.com, so gain real user insights designed to accelerate growth. So you can join them. I think there was where you can actually join as a freelance Q engineer. Maybe this one doesn't have it anymore, but just in case, I'm gonna leave it in the description so you can check it out yourself. Betatesting.com. So again, beta test with real people in real environments, and here you can join as beta tester. Again, just to get experience, put it on the resume. I've been doing like this for a year, for a year and a half, maybe as a side gig, or just in parallel with, let's say, the course that you're taking. Absolutely okay to put it on the resume and talk about the projects and testing you've done. And then Test.io. Also, you can become tester. All right, to sum this up, right? If you're struggling to find QA position, all of them have like, hey, we need a year, 2, 3 year of QA experience, at least just to get started and get working. I recommend stop searching for a junior QA position in general, right? Start getting some experience with freelance work that you can do on the websites mentioned. Grab a boot camp and go in through boot camp program that has a hands-on QA projects that you will also gain experience from and you can mention in your resume. Plus, grab like a Udemy course for some automation. I leave one of Dima Shishkin has a really good Selenium Python course. I'm going to leave it in description. You can grab that and build a project that you can bring to interview. Right. So I think doing all of that, you can start searching for jobs. I know it says 3 years or so. Keep applying, keep talking to the recruiters. I think it's very important that you go actually and talk with the team, saying, "Hey, here's my resume. Here's what I've been doing. If they like you, they're gonna hire, right?" So that's just how it works. It's not really about, "Hey, I have 10 years of experience here." It's about what your knowledge is, what you can do, and how well you fit with the team, right? Testing is very diverse. So someone coming from, let's say, car industry that they were working 10 years and testing Teslas or whatever, going into some aerospace industry. I mean, they're gonna test completely different things. So the foundation for testing is there, but tools and everything they're still gonna learn, right? So that's just understandable. So if you're moving from place to place, your engineer moving from industry to industry, they actually going through the similar thing. They have to learn the product from the scratch and understand how to test it. So um again, I don't recommend applying to junior positions, especially for those that like testing houses for like gaming or stuff like that. You'll get $18 an hour. You can get stuck there for a long time and not really advance to other industries that actually pay tax salaries 60, 70, and 80, 90, 100K, right? um, so just any QA job, your task is to have a strong portfolio, get have a project, have some hands-on writing that you can show, um, and get to the interview, talk to the team. Right, that's what you want to do. On top of that, of course, you have to have a resume that looks professional, right? And you have to have a LinkedIn and all that stuff. But I talk about it in my channel, so if you've been here for a while watching my videos, you should know that. Okay. So hopefully this information is helpful. This was Alex USA Days. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.